for you. And it's right around there, so it's just going to be just to the west and southwest of Beloit. I think Beloit, you're kind of in the epicenter for the strongest portion of this cell up towards Janesville. So Janesville to Beloit along I-39 there down into the state line area. That's the area we're going to be keeping a close eye on. I would say if you live Janesville southward, particularly between Janesville and Beloit I-39 along 51 there, this is the area you need to be putting your tornado precautions into immediate play. If you are into northern Rock County, maybe hearing the sirens, but you are not under that tornado warning currently. So that is the difference between kind of the northern and southern half of the county right now. Again, Janesville to Beloit, you should be in your tornado safe spot immediately. The rotation we're keeping an eye on is right here, so it's kind of on either side of the state line, getting close to Beloit right now. This is eventually going to cross 51, 39 and start working into southeastern portions of Rock County itself. Do want to throw the hail on here real quick because this has been a hail-producing storm as it's been moving out of northern Illinois and into southern Wisconsin. Now, just in the last couple of frames, it looks like the hail core has weakened just a little bit, but there were indications that this was producing upwards of golf ball size hail just to the south and west of Beloit and more particularly into northern Illinois here. It is a little bit of good news that it looks like the hail core temporarily kind of has washed itself out. That's typically the case. It drops all the hail. It takes a couple minutes to kind of reform some, and then you can get another little hail core to kind of spike as the storm moves to the north and east. So I do want to emphasize that this has been a hail-producing storm in addition to that tornadic threat, and this is kind of moving directly between Beloit and Janesville. There's 51, I-39. This is the area we're keeping a very, very close eye on. All right, that's a look at the hail. I want to throw the velocity back up here real quick. Show you that things are looking a little unorganized here at the moment, which is good news. The storm is definitely rotating, and it's definitely riding along a boundary that will give it the potential to bring that rotation. Remember, these storms kind of go in three phases when they are forming a tornado. The thunderstorm itself will start to rotate. That's kind of step one. Step two, that gets more organized. It starts to lower down into a funnel cloud, and then step three is when that funnel cloud reaches the ground. That's officially when it does become that tornado, and of course when we are running into the more significant issues that can be moving into the area. So that's the direction the storm is going. I'll throw the radar back on here real quick and show you that we are getting those very high returns, and there's actually quite a bit of lightning with this storm as well, especially through southwestern portions of Rock County. All right, let's do a little storm track here for you. This storm moving off to the north and east at around 20-30 miles an hour, so that's going to take it quickly through the south central and southeastern portions of Rock County between now and let's say about 4 o'clock this afternoon. It's 3:21 right now. This warning will be going until 3:45. Radar indicated, meaning the storm is showing some rotation on the radar at this point in time. Still no confirmed reports that this is on the ground. It is raining very, very heavily within the storm. We are getting some hail as well. That could make it a little difficult to spot. So that is an added concern in terms of kind of confirming this as we move through the next 20 or 30 minutes. So something we're going to need to keep a close eye on. If you are just tuning in, 3:21 right now, we do have that severe thunderstorm warning now transitioning into that tornado warning for southern portions of Rock County. That will be going until 3:45. Janesville to Beloit, that's the area I'm keeping a close eye on. And if you are in any of these two cities or between there, you need to be keeping a very close eye on this system. And if you know anyone kind of traveling 51 or the interstate there, this would be a good opportunity to maybe give them a call and make sure they are finding a place to kind of seek shelter. This is not a great place to be right now in terms of traveling as the storm drifts off to the north and east. Storm itself moving to the north and east. The rotation is kind of moving more east, so the storm may start to hook off to the right, and I think that would impact more portions of Walworth County than Jefferson County. So we'll see if that's how the storm kind of progresses here as we move later into the afternoon hours and as the storm starts to push a little more off to the east. Again, there is a boundary pretty much camped out at the state line right now. South of that, temperatures are very warm. They're into the 60s. You get north of that, and especially north of Madison, we're into the 30s, and things are much more stable. Really, as you get into northern Rock County, you get just north of this boundary, and you lose the ingredients for these systems to kind of rotate and produce any kind of threat. So we're close enough, and unfortunately that boundary has just lifted enough north that we're starting to get these storms moving into southern Wisconsin. Let's throw the velocity back on real quick. We've had a couple more scans here. See if we can see anything that's indicative of a tornado. And yes, the storm is rotating. There's no doubt about that. At this point in time, it's not tightly compacted. Along with the tornadic threat and the hail threat we mentioned, there are going to be some general gusty winds outside of this potential tornado, and that could be anywhere from 55 to 60 miles an hour. Of course, that could cause some damage within itself, so I do want to make you aware of that as we move through the next 20 or 30 minutes. Not only are we tracking that potential tornado, storm has had a bit of a history of producing some hail, and it does have a history of producing some general gusty winds as it's kind of moved through northern Illinois. So kind of all the threats on the table here for portions of Rock County, 345. That'll be until this warning is expired. Want to take a wider look real quick because we do have a variety of storms impacting the area. Now, I think the severe risk is going to be Madison and points south and eastward. This is the area we have the juicy air mass in place. These storms you see to the north and west, they are in a much more stable environment. They're not likely to go severe, although you may hear some thunder, some lightning. There could be some very small hail. Temperatures are much colder to the north. In fact, you get just north of La Crosse and it's snowing. That's the temperature differentiation that we're tracking. Snow around La Crosse to temperatures into the 70s, northern Illinois. Of course, that boundary is always the playing card for these severe storms. Really at any time of the year, especially right now. It's been an active start to the severe weather season here in southern Wisconsin. All right, let's zoom back in here to Rock County. That's where we continue to have our severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning in place until 3:45 this afternoon. Coming up on 3:25 right now. So we do have about 20 minutes or so continuing to be on this. Going to stop the radar here and take a look at the rotation. A couple new scans coming in. Right in here, that continues to be where we are seeing the rotation, and it's not looking all that great, but this is the area. I think south of Janesville towards Beloit would be the area of most concern, but if you live in Janesville, you do need to be putting your tornado precautions into place. We are still under that risk, and of course, as you get closer to Beloit, that's where the better rotation is showing up right now. Going to throw on a debris tracker to see if we're seeing anything that's kind of standing out. I was looking at this just before we went on air and not seeing anything that is pinpointing exactly where we are seeing any kind of debris being lofted up. That continues to be good news. This continues to be a radar indicated storm. And if you're just tuning in, what that means is the radar is showing and pointing to us that the storm is rotating, and they have been all afternoon. That is not a question. The storms are rotating high up in the atmosphere, and at times they're producing some funnel clouds. At this time, though, doesn't look like we've had one reach the ground, which of course is the best news we can have. We do not want to have another tornado in southern Wisconsin, and we do not want to be impacting areas that were hit so hard just a couple of weeks ago with those historic February tornadoes that we have. But this continues to kind of be that area as we move through the afternoon. Lee, I want to look at something real quick on my computer, and I'm going to toss it back to you, see if we have anything coming in or some of those shots from around the area.
Okay, thanks, Brian. First, I just want to take this time to remind those of you who are in Rock County, potentially in the path of this storm, there are some really important safety tips related to tornadoes that we just want to emphasize for you. First, get to the basement or an interior room on the lowest level. You want a room that does not have any windows. If you don't have a basement, find that interior room. On your way, if you don't have them wherever you're heading, grab some pillows, or if there's furniture in that low level or basement, you want to put your head underneath that furniture. Use those pillows to protect yourself. If you live in or are visiting a mobile home, this is the time to get to a different shelter because we know that those can be dangerous during tornadoes. Important that you take this serious. Also, I did post on our Facebook page, just if you're in an area where you are safely able to update us, be our eyes and ears on the ground and share anything you're seeing or hearing. We certainly would appreciate it. Know where to go. This is a great image too, because it just emphasizes for you, if you're up at the top level, get out of there. If you're on the edges with those windows, you want to get into that lower level where you can be safe. We're going to go back to Brian. You had a second here. What's the update?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Lee. And continuing to be radar indicated, did get a few reports of some rather large hail around Orfordville. Ping pong ball size hail was recorded as the storm started to move in. And that's what I was talking about, kind of the secondary threat to this tornado. This has been a hail producing storm. So we did get those reports of ping pong ball size hail in Orfordville. As I was talking, though, about 5-10 minutes ago, the hail core has kind of washed itself out for now. There's the potential that we have another one trying to develop. So we'll see what the hail situation does here in the next 5 or 10 minutes. But at least temporarily, it looks like it kind of dumped a bunch of quarter to ping pong ball size hail as this moved into Rock County and up towards Orfordville and has now started to kind of wash its hail core out. So we'll see if that can kind of strengthen. As the storm moves more to the north, it will enter a more stable environment. So if this thing continues to the north, chances are it will weaken. If it takes more of that easterly track that I was talking about, we may continue with this tornadic threat into portions of Walworth County and eastern portions of Rock. So I would say a first alert, eastern Rock, western portions of Walworth County towards Delavan, Whitewater. I think this is going to be the area next in line if this storm holds together. The storm itself moving more north and east. The rotation is kind of moving more east. So that would tend to draw this storm northeast and then maybe taking more of an easterly jog as it continues off in time. So we will see how that kind of develops here in the next couple of minutes. Going to put things in motion here for you. You can see these storms really initiated down through northern Illinois. As a matter of fact, they developed around the Quad Cities. That's where we do have the boundary, and then it extends into portions of southern Wisconsin. They move towards Rockford. They've kind of been strengthening, and then they kind of weaken for a little bit. They strengthen again. And while they're doing this, they're rotating, and that's the concern now that this storm is beginning to move into our area. So we'll stop things here for you and show you that we do have these bright colors here, the reds, the pinks. That's indicative of a fairly significant storm. A lot of lightning is ongoing with this system. The strongest portion of the cell does look to be crossing over 51 in the interstate here not too long from now, or at least in the next couple of minutes. So that is the area I'm a little more concerned on for potential rotation, and I think it's right around the Beloit area or just north. So let's zoom in here a little bit more. Again, Janesville down towards Beloit, that's the area of most concern right now and where we do have the tornado warning in place. So if you live anywhere between Janesville and Beloit, you need to be putting your tornadic precautions into place immediately, getting to that safe place that you have and being prepared for a possible tornado. I think the rotation, though, is right around Beloit, maybe just to the north. And again, looks like it's somewhere in between 51 and I-39 here. So this is a little concerning that it's crossing a more heavily populated area of the roadway system here, and this is going to be heading more towards Clinton, I think, drifting a little more to the north and east. So the area I'm really keeping a close eye on would be from Beloit to the Clinton area. If we were to be seeing any type of funnel cloud formation right now, this is going to be the area kind of where you see the greens here, and then you get these brighter reds turning into the yellows. That's where we have the rotation ongoing. You have some of the winds going towards the radar, of course, and then the other winds going more away towards the radar. This is not super tight, but this is definitely the area of concern. So I think Beloit to Clinton, that's going to be what we need to watch especially closely. Now, northward towards Janesville, you're not out of the woods. You should be in your tornado safe place, but it looks like the rotation right now is right around Beloit, moving more towards Clinton in the next 10 or 15 minutes. So it looks like the area of rotation has just moved north of the state line and now into southern portions of Wisconsin, really south Beloit to Beloit up towards Clinton. That's kind of the area that we need to keep a very close eye on. Let's throw our debris detection software on here, see if we're seeing anything that's kind of standing out in terms of maybe some debris being lofted up. Nothing that's really standing out at the moment. That continues to be a little bit of some good news, but still, we are seeing that rotation. All right, let's go back to the hail product real quick, see if anything is showing signs of strengthening. Looks like that one hail core pretty much washed itself out north of Beloit and just south of Janesville there. Another one trying to develop more into southwestern portions of Rock County. We'll see if that holds together. Still the potential of some pea-sized hail, maybe a quarter or two that's coming out of the sky, but looks like a lot of that hail, at least for now, has kind of worked itself out. So a little bit of good news there. All right, let's widen the map out one more time, see exactly what we are tracking here as we move through the afternoon hours. 3:33 on your Monday afternoon. We did declare this first alert day yesterday. Things were looking a little more impressive in terms of potential severe weather, and that is certainly kind of playing out as we move through the afternoon. Also, seeing this kind of develop more into a line or a linear structure here from Janesville towards Rockford down towards the Quad Cities. That's the corridor where the boundary is, and the storms, they're going to ride along that. That's why I continue to think the best severe weather risk will be south and east of Madison. So Greene, Rock, Jefferson, Walworth County, Milwaukee, down towards Kenosha, Racine. This area going to be more susceptible to seeing any additional severe weather as we head through the next couple of hours. Storms to the north and west, not likely to be severe. Some heavier rain, maybe some pea-sized hail, thunder, lightning, but things are in a stable environment up here. And as mentioned, you get around La Crosse and points northward towards Rochester, Eau Claire. It's actually snowing right now. So, of course, that would not be a favorable environment for any kind of storms to develop. All right, zooming back in here to Janesville, that continues to be our storm of concern until 3:45. Radar indicated tornado. We are continuing to stay in the air this afternoon just to keep you ahead of the storm and give you a first alert to anything that may be potentially worsening. Storm's kind of been status quo, which is good and bad. It's still rotating, but it really doesn't appear to have been strengthening at this point in time. It continues to be in phase one, at times kind of going into phase two of tornadic development, which is the storm is rotating, the thunder cloud, the wall cloud is beginning to form. It's trying to form that funnel cloud, but it's really not getting much past that right now, which is good news because that means it's not producing that tornado on the ground. But at any point in time, it could do so, and that's why the National Weather Service in Milwaukee is continuing to keep this tornado warning in place. All right, as expected, we talked about this a couple minutes ago. Looked like the rotation was going to head towards Beloit and then take more of an easterly jog towards Clinton. That looks to be the case. This is pretty much somewhere over I-39, the I-43 interchange there. This is where I'm seeing the stronger rotation and where there would be the potential of perhaps seeing a tornado develop. Just kind of trimming back the warning there. That's why you're seeing it flashing. That means southwestern portions of Rock County, you're kind of out of the tornado warning now. So southwestern Rock County, the storm has moved more east of your area. It's still storming for you, but you're going to be okay. Greene County, you're not in any kind of threat right now as well, just general storms. Janesville, Beloit to Clinton, that's kind of the triangle of concern right now, with the most concern focusing on really that interchange there, 3943, Beloit to Clinton. There's Highway 140, 51, of course. This would be where we have the potential of some kind of rotation kind of rolling through. So I don't know if in the back we can see if there's any cameras in this vicinity, kind of take a look at how things are materializing down here, but I think this would be the area of concern. Lee, I want to toss it back to you just for a minute. I'm going to take a look at some of the new information coming in to see if we're getting any additional reports from my colleagues over at the Weather Service.
Sounds good, Brian. And you read our minds because we were just looking through the DOT cameras on I-3990. So this is the one just south and east of Beloit at State Line Road. You can see traffic moving fine, some darker clouds As you travel north, there are some other cameras in the Janesville area that have a little more impressive views, but they've been switching. It's a little hard for us to zero in on that for you, but can tell you that in terms of conditions, it does look farther north of the state line, has the more impressive dark clouds, which it jives with the radar that you were showing, Dukes, and kind of that area right in between Janesville and Beloit. And slightly to the east being the area of concern. I also heard from one of our viewers in Evansville, of course, Evansville, Edgerton, that area, thinking back to February 8th, just 3.5 weeks ago, reporting that everything in that northern part of Rock County is looking good. So our focus continues to be in this corridor between Janesville and Beloit, heading over toward Clinton. Anything you see or hear and want to share with us, of course, do that, and we'll go back to Dukes.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Lee. And that continues to be the area we're keeping the closest eye on. Still no confirmed report of this tornado at this point. Are getting some general gusty winds, and at times we're seeing a couple of trees come down. So you should be taking your precautions regardless of if there's a tornado on the ground or not, because we are seeing hail, we are seeing general gusty severe winds, and we are seeing that storm rotating, which continues to pose a threat for southern portions of Rock County. And again, that rotation beginning to move a little bit to the north and east of Beloit and more towards the Clinton area in terms of a potential rotating thunderstorm. Now, you get just to the east of this and things are pretty clear, and things are going to be moving in that direction. So let's widen this out. We are seeing some additional severe thunderstorm warnings coming in right now. I'm going to widen this out. And we were talking about this a couple minutes ago. I gave you that first alert into portions of Walworth County. Looks like we're seeing that extended as a severe thunderstorm warning, which would make sense due to the fact that we have not had any confirmed reports of this tornado on the ground. It still is rotating. It still has the potential to produce a tornado, but at this point in time, it looks like it's transitioning more into a severe thunderstorm. So as it moves out of Rock County and into portions of central and western Walworth County, Whitewater, down towards Delavan, along I-43 here, this is going to be for the threat of some 60-mile-an-hour winds and also the potential of some quarter-sized hail. Now, there is the potential if this storm starts to get a little more organized, we would see this tornado warning expanded off to the east. But as mentioned, right now, the storm is rotating and it's kind of holding its own. It's not getting any stronger. It's not getting any weaker. So we're kind of in that sit and wait situation here to see exactly what is going to pan out. Let's throw the velocity back on here. This is a look at our winds and exactly where we are going to keep a closer eye on for any potential rotation. Let's zoom back in here to extreme southeastern portions of Rock County. So between Beloit and Clinton, there's Highway 81, 140. If you're familiar with this area, this is going to be where there's the potential of that rotation. If we were to be seeing a funnel cloud or anything of that nature, it would be right in this area. That's where we are seeing the converging winds, and that's where we are seeing the storm kind of rotate. So right in this area right here, we are seeing the storm begin to rotate. If you are just tuning in, 3:40 right now, we have about 5 more minutes on this tornado warning. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of minutes, but the storm remains in kind of phase 1 of tornadic development. The thunderstorm itself is rotating way high up in the atmosphere. At times, it's trying to lower down a funnel cloud. Fortunately, we have not really pushed into phase 3, which is that funnel cloud reaching the ground and it developing into that tornado. But we need to be taking this seriously. Best case scenario would be this never develops into a full-fledged tornado, but we will continue to be on the air here at least for another 5 minutes until we see this tornado warning allowed to expire or extended. At this point in time, looks like that's going to be transitioning into that severe thunderstorm warning for Walworth County that we were mentioning. Let's throw the hail up real quick and see what's continuing to happen. We do continue to have maybe some P to nickel, maybe as big as quarter-size hail moving through central and southeastern portions of Rock County. This is going to likely, the hail core, move just north of Clinton. This will eventually start to move off to the east as we move through 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, getting some reports of a few power lines down as the storm has moved through the area, so we'll continue to kind of keep an eye on that. Throwing the radar back on here just one more time for you to show this storm. Continues to be a radar indicated tornado warning. So if you're wondering what that means, the radar is showing us that the storm is rotating. Fortunately, not confirmed. It's not radar confirmed. We're not seeing anything that resembles debris on our debris detection software, which is good news. And we're not getting any spotter reports, at least at the present time, that this is on the ground. But you do need to be taking your tornado precautions still from Janesville down towards Beloit and into the Clinton area. So southeastern portions of Rock County, that's where we are going to keep a close eye on what's happening. I think we are getting a little bit of some cameras in, I believe, from around the Clinton to Beloit area. I don't know if we can kind of pop that up and take a look at what's going on. I-43 at Hart Road. You can see the camera shaking there pretty well, indicating those gusty winds. We do have quite a bit of heavy rain, it looks like, as well. You can see those raindrops kind of moving across the camera there instead of just straight down. That would indicate those very, very gusty winds. And also you can see some of the heavier water on the roadways there. So this does look to be that storm kind of moving through. Lee, I'm going to toss it back to you for 1 second. Just see if we have any other reports kind of coming in here real quick that I can get out to everyone. And if there's anything else we need to kind of watch as the storm starts to push a little closer to Walworth County.
Yeah, we don't have any major updates from viewers. I was just looking at high wind safety tips because you're right. As you watch those raindrops, they're really pulling across the lens there on that traffic cam at I-43 and Hart Road. Again, that was right in that area between Clinton and Beloit. But making sure that you're driving safely, watching out for any debris. If you're in a vehicle, of course, if you're in that area, you should be on your way home to get to a safe spot in a structure that is in a lower level that is safe. The good news here is that the roads are not very busy, but you can see that wind moving there, and it makes sense if you see one of those power lines down. Again, a downed power line or wire is very dangerous. You need to stay away. Call 911. That's how we're getting those reports of wires down. So just really important to take that seriously, as we can tell the wind really blowing in that area, Dukes.
Yeah, and we are going to continue to deal with this threat, it looks like, as we move through the next couple of hours. Still sticking with that severe thunderstorm warning for central and western Walworth County. That's the downstorm warning that has come out. If you're watching a little bit ago, we were talking about how we'd probably see the warning expanded. That has been expanded as a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning, due to the fact that we haven't seen this storm really progress anymore towards that actual tornado on the ground. So at this point in time, in the next 1 to 2 minutes, we will see this tornado warning expired for Rock County, and we will get you back to programming here in just a couple of minutes. I did a little storm track. This storm is kind of moving off to the north and east at 30 to 35 miles an hour. So it will quickly, in the next 15 or 20 minutes, move out of Rock County and become more of a Walworth County issue as we get closer to 4 o'clock this afternoon. So it looks like Bradford in about 5 to 10 minutes, Johnstown 15 minutes, Sugar Creek, East Troy 30 to 45 minutes. Mukwonago, of course, we get out of our area here in the next hour or so as the storm continues to kind of race off to the east. So again, we're going to be looking at this tornado warning expiring at this point in time for portions of Rock County. That'll be at 3:45 momentarily. You just saw it kind of slip off your screen there. I do want to just zoom in one more time, and you can see that we do have that storm now progressing more towards Walworth County. So we will keep a very close eye on this. Janesville, Beloit, Clinton, now eastward towards Delavan, Whitewater. That's where the storm's going to be going. But at this point in time, looks like it's losing a little of its tornadic characteristics and becoming more of just a severe thunderstorm. So quarter-size hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds, still going to be a threat. But you can see that red box has dissipated. The time has come to 3:45. And our tornado warning has been allowed to expire. So with that being said, we are going to send you back to regular programming here. Of course, coming up on WMTV 15 News at 4, we will have additional coverage. And if anything kind of pops up between now and then, we will let you know. But that warning now is severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to be going until 4:30 for portions of Walworth County. Don't forget, you can stay ahead of the storm. We'll send you all those alerts directly for your location just by having our WMTV 15 News First Alert weather app.